During the month of August, Jason and I ventured to South Central Oregon to visit Crater Lake National Park. We entered from the south side of the park via Highway 62 out of Klamath Falls, Oregon. We were joined for the first few days by my mom and my nephew Kale, and then Jason and I spent another week in the Crater Lake National Park area. For our visit to Crater Lake, we stayed at Annie Creek Snow Park, about 10 miles south of Mazama Village on the south side of Crater Lake National Park. At the very beginning of our full-time RV adventure, Jason and I invested in an amazing solar system for our RV. This has allowed us to almost exclusively dry camp, also known as boondocking. This means we have no electricity, no water, or sewer hookups. We have been really impressed with the quality of free sites around the West, and this location was no different. In fact, both Jason and I have rated it as our favorite site we've been at so far in our travels. The cats agreed too, because there were tons of tiny chipmunks that drove them absolutely crazy. In case you find yourself in a pickle, the snow park has a shelter where you will find electrical outlets and a wood stove. We enjoyed the little bit of extra elbow room this space provided and played a nail-biting game of Pandemic inside one evening. We always had neighbors during our stay, but as you can see, everyone was very spread out and friendly. You may be wondering why this was our favorite camping location. Easy answer, there was so much to do. We spent hours each day walking, riding bikes, or paddleboarding. There are endless dirt roads leading away from the snow park, and we explored as many as we could, but even then, we only scratched the surface. Our electric bikes became our favorite way to get around and enjoy the nearby sights. Services were a bit more sparse. There was free sewer dumping and fresh water at the National Park campground and a private nearby campground that sold propane. However, groceries and laundry would require an hour trek back to Klamath Falls. 5 miles down the road from Annie Creek Snow Park, you'll find the Wood River Kayaking launch point. The water is pristine, shallow, and crystal clear, and absolutely freezing. The spot was busy on the weekends and is right inside Jackson F. Kimball State Recreation Area. There is camping available here for smaller rigs. A lot of folks that were there coordinated a drop car and opted to make the one-way journey down the creek instead of returning upstream. We saw many different kinds of watercraft while we were there: canoes, kayaks, and paddleboards. Jason was the only one crazy enough to go swimming though, unless you count Kale falling into the water. Man, I wish I'd gotten that on camera. After a couple days of exploring around Annie Creek, we finally made our way north into Crater Lake National Park. The gate entrance took no time at all, and we soon found ourselves overlooking the dazzling blue waters of Crater Lake. Almost 8,000 years ago, the volcano Mount Mazama erupted and collapsed in on itself, forming a massive caldera that we now know as Crater Lake. It is the deepest lake in the United States, measuring 1,949 feet deep. There are no streams or creeks flowing into or out of Crater Lake. It is sourced solely from precipitation in the form of snow and rain. Crater Lake is the only national park in the state of Oregon and is well worth a journey to visit. Before you visit, be sure to do some research on the seasons in the park. The weather station at Crater Lake records the highest amount of snowfall when compared to every other station in the state. There may be parts of the park that are no-goes from September all the way into June. During the summer months, you'll have no trouble finding temperatures in the 70s and 80s. With my mom and Kale, we spent almost all of our time in the area of the Rim Village Visitor Center and the Crater Lake Lodge. The lodge has skillful wood features throughout and boasts a beautiful view of the lake with a line of chairs outside where you can enjoy the view with a beer or cocktail. There are many hiking trails along the 33-mile rim drive, which winds its way along the elevated rim of the lake. Bye! Love you guys! After saying goodbye to my mom and Kale, Jason and I hunkered down for a couple days of gloomy, rainy weather before heading back up to the lake to catch the sunset from Watchman Peak. Unfortunately, the winds had changed and smoke had blown in from nearby fires. There was a stark difference between what we were seeing compared to the dazzling blue from just a few days ago. Jason and I opted to do the popular Watchman Peak Trail for sunset. The trail is a moderate 1.7 mile out and back that ends at an old fire lookout station. There were a handful of other people at the top, and we all bundled up to watch the gradual end to another day atop Crater Lake National Park. The smoke made for a beautiful red sunset. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the Roaming Russells. See you soon!